Hello students, I am Dr. Premlata Verma from Government Bilasa Girls PG College, Bilaspur, and today I am going to deliver a lecture for MSc Semester 4 Mathematics paper Fuzzy Sets and their applications. The topic is Approximate Reasoning. This is my second lecture on this topic. Today we shall be learning some specific implications with emphasis on R and QL implication and some theorems. In the first lecture, we have studied the ways of defining fuzzy logic, implications in fuzzy logic. We have already dealt with S implication, which was defined as IAB is equal to union within bracket CA comma B for all A and B belonging to closed interval 0, 1. Today we shall learn about R implication, which is defined as IAB is equal to supremum x belonging to the closed interval 0, 1 such that IAX is less than or equal to B. And QL implication, which is defined as IAB is equal to union within bracket CA comma IAB. So let us start with the R implication. The fuzzy implication, as we have already seen, IAB is equal to supremum x belonging to the closed interval 0, 1 such that IAX is less than or equal to B are called R implications. And why are they called R implications? Because they are closely connected with the so-called residuated semigroup. That means R has been taken from the word residuated. So here we must keep in mind that what is IAB for the R implication. It is, we have to take the collection of all those numbers in the closed interval 0, 1 whose intersection with the first argument is less than or equal to the second argument. So let us see the examples of well-known R implications. See, we have seen that here we have to take intersection, and we have four type of well-known intersections, that is T-norms. What are they? Standard intersection, IAB is equal to min AB, then algebraic product, IAB is equal to AB, then bounded difference, IAB is equal to max 0, comma A plus B minus 1, and drastic intersection, IAB is equal to A when B is equal to 1, B when A is equal to 1, and 0 otherwise. According to the selection of the standard intersection, different implications have been defined by these four mathematicians: Gödel, Govin, Lukasiewicz, and largest R implication. So these are denoted respectively by IG, IS, IA, and IL. So IGAB, Gödel implication, this will be equal to supremum x such that instead of I, we are taking min, standard intersection, min AX less than or equal to B, and the value will be 1 when A is less than or equal to B, and B when A is greater. Similarly, for the algebraic product, we will get ISAB is equal to supremum x such that AX is less than or equal to B, because IAX will be equal to AX here. So this is equal to 1 when A is less than or equal to B, and B by A when A is greater than B. Then for the bounded difference T norm, we will get IAX is equal to maximum 0 A plus X minus B less than or equal to B. This is equal to minimum 1 comma 1 minus A plus B. Similarly, for the largest R implication, we have to take drastic intersection. So this is equal to supremum x such that I min, it is in the subscript, AX is less than or equal to B. This is equal to B when A is equal to 1 and 1 otherwise. So all the implications cannot be memorized, students. So because Gödel implication and Lukasiewicz implications are often seen in many theorems, so you please learn this Govin and Lukasiewicz implication. Now, let us come to the theorem. Theorem 11.2 from the book of Click. The statement of the theorem is, let I1 and I2 be T norms such that I1AB is less than or equal to I2AB for all A and B belonging to 0, 1. And let I1, I2 be R implications based on I1, I2 respectively. Then we have to prove that I1AB is greater than or equal to I2AB. Here small I is there for intersection and this capital I is for implication. That means we have to prove that if I1AB is less than or equal to I2AB, then I1AB is greater than or equal to I2AB. The sign is reversed here for all A and B belonging to 0, 1. So let us start with the proof. We are given that two norms I1 and I2 such that I1AB is less than or equal to I2AB for all A and B belonging to 0, 1. Suppose this is equation 1, and now this is inequality number 1. Now we know that R implication is given by, this is the definition of R implication, students, that IAB is the supremum of X belonging to 0, 1 such that IAX is less than or equal to B. That means we have to take all those numbers in between 0 and 1 whose intersection with the first argument is less than or equal to the second argument. Now, from this, if we take I1, then here we will write I1, and then here we will write I2, we will write here I2, small I2. So I1AB is equal to supremum X belonging to 0, 1 such that I1AX is less than or equal to B, and similarly I2AB is equal to supremum X belonging to 0, 1 closed interval such that I2AX is less than or equal to B. Now, what we have to prove? We have to prove that I1AB is greater than or equal to I2AB. We have supposed I1 is less than or equal to I2, and we have to prove that I1 is greater than or equal to I2. What we are going to, how we will start this? In order to prove that I1 is greater than or equal to I2, we will start with I2. What is I2? It is like this. So, when we start, we will not take this supremum. We will simply start with an element in this set. With an element in this set, and we will show that the element also belongs to this set. And once we have proved like this, we will take supremum on both sides and we will get our required inequality. So see, what we are doing, we are taking an element x0 without putting supremum here. We are taking x0 in this set. That means let x0 from this, we are taking x0 belonging to X belonging to closed interval 0, 1 such that I2 AX is less than or equal to B. And because X0 belongs to this set, it means that X0 must satisfy this inequality. Therefore, I2 AX0 is less than or equal to B. This is inequality number 2. Now, by equation 1, what is equation 1? I1AB is less than or equal to I2AB. It is given here. So, so if we put x0, we will get I2AX0. From equation 1, we will get I1AX0 is less than or equal to I2AX0. And so from there, we can write I2AX0 is greater than or equal to I1AX0. Or we can write I1AX0 is less than or equal to I2X0. We can directly get this inequality from equation 1 by simply putting x0 instead of b. So I1AX0 is less than or equal to I2X0. So because I2AX0 is less than or equal to b and I1AX0 is less than or equal to I2AX0, therefore from inequality number 2 and 3, we will get I1AX0 is less than or equal to B. That means X0 is satisfying the condition of this I1AX0. X comes to this set when I1AX is less than or equal to B, and because I1AX0 is less than or equal to B, therefore X0 will belong to this set. So from there, we can write that because this condition is satisfied, therefore X0 belongs to the set X belonging to closed interval 0, 1, such that I1AX is less than or equal to B. This set. This condition is satisfied by X0. So X0 belongs to this set. Therefore, what we have proved that X0 belonging to this set also belongs to this set. This means that this set X belonging to closed interval 0, 1 such that I2AX is less than or equal to B is a subset of the set X belonging to the closed interval 0, 1 such that I1AX is less than or equal to B. So if we take supremum on both sides, we get supremum X such that I2AX is less than or equal to B is less than or equal to supremum X such that I1AX is less than or equal to B. Here we have not mentioned that X belongs to 0, 1, but it should be understood that X belongs to the closed interval 0, 1. So what was this? This was I2AB. And what was this? This was I1AB. Thus, we have proved that I2AB is less than or equal to I1AB. That means I1AB is greater than or equal to I2AB. Thus, we have proved that I1AB less than or equal to I2AB implies I1AB is greater than or equal to I2AB. So after proving this theorem, let us come to the QL implication. So how is QL implication defined? The fuzzy implication based on IAB is equal to union within bracket CA comma IAB, where the T norm I and T, where the T norm I and T conorm U are required to be dual with respect to the complement C. And why is this fuzzy implication called as QL implication? Because it was first employed in quantum logic. So from the word quantum, we have taken the letter Q, and from logic, we have taken the letter L. So it is QL implication. We have 4 examples of QL implications, in all of which the standard fuzzy complement is assumed. That means in all the 4 examples, we will take CA is equal to 1 minus A. So if we take, there are 4 types of 4 standard types of T norms, T conorms, and 4 standard types of T norms. So there will be 16 combinations, but we are not going to take all the 16 combinations. We will take only some standard intersection and standard union, and CA will be 1 minus A, that is standard complement in all cases. So what we are doing, I and U are both are standard minimum and maximum. I is minimum and U is maximum. The first case, this is given by, this type of QL implication is given by Zarday implication. That means it is represented by IM. IMM means minimum, suppose. So IMAB is equal to, in example, it was UCAIAB. So what, this is 1 minus A. This is 1 minus A, and a union was maximum and I was minimum. So we can write IMAB is equal to maximum 1 minus A, comma, min AB. Similarly, if we employ algebraic product and algebraic sum for I and U respectively. That means IAB is equal to AB and UAB is equal to A plus B minus AB. And then if we substitute AB and A plus B minus AB, and after calculation, we will get IPAB is equal to 1 minus A plus A square B. What we will do is that for IAB, we will substitute what? This A plus B minus AB. A plus B minus AB. Then for U, 1 minus A, comma, A plus B minus AB. For U, we will take, sorry. For I, we have to take AB. So for I, you will take AB, then U 1 minus A, AB. 1 minus A and AB. We will employ this definition, UAB is equal to A plus B minus AB, and we will get this result, 1 minus A plus A square. It is very easy. You can do it by yourself also. Then third type of QL implication, take bounded T norm and bounded sum T conorm, that is IAB is equal to maximum 0 A plus B minus 1 and UAB is equal to minimum 1 comma A plus B. Then we will get U, this is standard complement, then this is intersection maximum 0 A plus B minus 1, and with U, you will get minimum 1 minus A plus maximum 0 A plus B minus 1, and this we will get as minimum 1 minus A comma B. And similarly, if we take drastic intersection and drastic union, we will get IQAB is equal to B, A is equal to 1 minus A when A is not equal to 1, B is not equal to 1, and 1 when A is not equal to 1 and B is equal to 1. So students, these are the 4 types of QL implications. We can't memorize all the types of implications, only those implications which are used in theorems, that should be memorized. Now come to theorem 11.4 from the book of Clear. We are before proving theorem 11.4, we are first mentioning the requirements which will be used while proving the theorem. These are taken from chapter 5. These are results of chapter 5. First, this is infimum omega I composition. This was the definition of infimum omega I composition. That is omega I AB is equal to supremum X belonging to closed interval 0, 1 such that IAX is less than or equal to B. Then second, this is from chapter 5 only, omega I 1A is equal to A, and this is from chapter 3, axioms of T norms, boundary condition, I1A is equal to A, and this is also a theorem of 10th part of last theorem of chapter 5. IA comma omega IEB is less than or equal to B. So all these are requirements for theorem 11.4. So let us start with the statement of this theorem. Let A be a normal fuzzy set. And what is a normal fuzzy set? You know that a fuzzy set A is said to be normal if its height is equal to 1. That means HA is equal to 1. Height is 1, it means that there exists an element x0 belonging to, there exists at least one element x0 belonging to A, capital A, such that its membership in that fuzzy set is equal to 1. That means AX0 is equal to 1. So normal fuzzy set means height of the fuzzy set is 1. So for any, so let A be a normal fuzzy set for any continuous T norm I and the associated omega I operator, let I is equal to omega I. That means I within bracket AX comma BY is equal to omega I within bracket AX comma BY. I is equal to omega I. for all x belonging to x and y belonging to y. Then we have to prove that by is equal to supremum over x I ax comma iax by holds. This we have to prove. We are given with a normal fuzzy set and I is equal to omega I. These two things are given and we have to prove this. So let us start with the proof. We know that from the requirement I A omega I AB is less than or equal to B for all A and B belonging to 0, 1. Last theorem of chapter 5. This part was there. Now, in this, we take A is equal to AX and B is equal to BY. So what we get? I AX comma omega I AX BY is less than or equal to BY for all X belonging to X and Y belonging to Y. And now it is given that A is a normal fuzzy set. So because A is a normal fuzzy set, there must exist an element x0 belonging to the universal set X such that AX0 is equal to 1. And we have now substituting x0 for x in this. What we get? I AX0 comma omega I AX0 by is equal to, we are solving this part. We are solving here. So this AX0 is 1 and AX0 here also is 1. So we get I1 omega I1 by. So we know that omega I1A is equal to A. So omega I1 by is equal to by. And we get like this. So this is equal to omega I1 by. Sorry, this is I. This is I. This has been wrongly written omega I. This is I. Not omega I here, only I. So I1 and omega I by, omega I1 by is by. So I, only I1 by. So for boundary condition, we know that I1A is equal to A. Therefore, I1 by will be equal to by. And thus, now we will take supremum, both sides, supremum. So what we will get? Supremum I for x belonging to x, supremum over x, IAX, comma, omega IAX, by is equal to by. So students, this is the end of today's lecture. Hope you will be benefited with the contents which have been taught in today's lecture. Wish you all the best for your examination and thank you for listening. Thank you very much.